Okay, so Oleksandra, thank you for agreeing for doing the interview. I would like you to introduce briefly the context of gender stereotypes in media in Ukraine as an expert in this field. And I would like to ask you which are the most common stereotypes against women in Ukraine media?
Thank you for the invitation, and it's a great honor to be here with you. And of course, it's a great honor to be at the World Forum for Democracy for us, for Ukrainian NGO. And here we present our initiative Ukraine Without Sexism. And the main idea is to fight against gender stereotypes. Because in Ukrainian advertising and the media we have a lot of stereotypes and a lot of sexism, and this is the main point of our campaign, because we think that gender stereotypes contribute to not only inequality but also for tolerance of gender-based violence. And now in Ukrainian media, the women are more like some beautiful dolls, people who don't know how to earn some money. And on the other hand, men are people who don't know how to care the family, how to deal with children, and it's like a horrible situation. So we are fight against this, and we try to create space for freedom where everyone could be themselves without these stereotypes.
But how do you think this kind of stereotypes influence people's behavior towards women? In which sense, in which is the relationship between what is shown in television or in newspapers and what is the behavior of Ukrainian people?
For example, I think that we have some bias of some stereotypes role of women in society, and we have not so many women in, for example, Ukrainian parliament. It's only 12% of members are women, and also our gender pay gap is about 27%. And of course, the level of gender-based violence is very high because when we every day see a lot of violence from our screen, from the media. Of course, it influence on behavior of people, and I think that even voters during election process have these stereotypes of women roles, that women can't be like a good politician or something like that.
So you mean that in elections, when there are running women, there may be some kind of political violence specifically towards these women?
For example, even in some small things. For example, when some media outlets try to do some interview with women politicians, they talk more about some clothes, more about some shoes, bags, husbands, and something like that. Not about some real, for example, legislation process or something like that. And of course, they pay more attention for some beauty of women in politics, not like for real deals and for real work of these people. Because I think that women and men are equal in politics. It's not depend on the sex. But today we have the stereotypes that sometimes maybe women become a politician because of some issues that she is someone's wife or daughter or something like this.
Okay, so they have a sexist view on the role,
Yeah.
the role that women play in politics. You are part of an organization, the Women's Protection League.
Yeah.
And I would like you to explain which is the aim of this organization and how you are contributing to fight these stereotypes, the gender stereotypes that we can find in the Ukraine media.
Yeah. First of all, we are doing this monitoring. We make the monitoring of advertisement and the media, and also we apply to governmental agencies if some content is sexist. It should be, of course, removed, and companies should be fined. And also we work with young girls, and Council of Europe help us to provide Girls Leadership Academy Grows Up. And during this academy, we try to help young women from vulnerable group to develop their political and leadership skills, and we try to give the opportunity to these young women to become a leader in their community in a regional level. So we try not only to punish the media outlets or advertisers, but only to create some awareness about gender equality and about women leadership.
Maybe we can focus on the first part of this work of the organization, the monitoring media and advertisements. I would like to ask you how does it work, this system of monitoring and then fining, and which are these fines that are applied to the companies who put some sexist advertisements? Could you give us an example, maybe?
Everyone can learn this standard of non-discrimination content or advertisement on our website, and after that just watch some, maybe doing this monitoring, you everyday things, like just watch something, and if you find something that you think is has this sign of sexism, you just send it to our NGO via our website or via our Facebook page or via email. And also we have a button on our website, complain about sexism. So after that our expert checks these complaints, and we also publish it on our Facebook page and send our appeal to governmental agencies. And after that we also control decision-making process and keep people informed about this situation. About this amount of money, these fines, it's about maybe 100 euro for one for one sexist ads. And of course it's like a little, not very big, but we try to do it everyday process, and maybe we will change this practice. So we try not only punish, but maybe change the opinion in the minds of people who create some content.
In those sense of changing the minds of people, why would you think it's important to work with girls, with young girls, to develop leadership skills, as you mentioned before?
Because I think that young girls sometimes don't have so much self-confidence. And I also used to be a scholarship of one of the big Ukrainian program, and as for me, it was something great, and it's helped me to be now like young women leader, and so that we decide to help women in a very young age to develop these skills and to become like self-confident persons, and not afraid to say something and to say it very loud.
I'm not not sure if your organization is trying to put a law, to pass a law, or to ban some stereotypes in the media. Could you explain a little bit more?
We also work with different stakeholders, of course, with media, but also with government and with parliament. And we have very strong cooperation with head of subcommittee on gender equality on our parliament. And also we work on working group that produce some amendments to the law on advertising, and also we try to make some amendments for gender expertise of law, because it's also very important. And of course we work with governmental agencies, National Broadcasting Council, and also with customer service, the service that protect customers, because this is all issue of advertising in Ukraine. And they are very happy to work with us, because we write a lot of appeals, and it help. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and of course it help to make this decision-making process easier, because we make some work for state, I think.
I'm curious about the reactions, especially in the advertisement sector. Have you ever been accused of promoting a sort of censorship by regulating these contents in the media?
Of course, we have some discussions with these people who make content, and sometimes it's very hot discussion, but we try to explain, and for sure they understand what is the problem. But I think that producing of sexist ads, it's a little bit easier than to produce something very high quality. But I think that professionals understand what is the problem, and they try to sell not only some sexist images, but some ideas, some maybe values, something good and something special, not only women's or sometimes men bodies. We have one situation when during the discussion one of the lawyers of one of the biggest company of advertising producer in Ukraine, he doesn't understand what's happened and what he needs to do, but after maybe 1 year I have seen on Facebook that he wrote a comment for another company that guys don't do it because it's prohibited by law and it's like just a crime. So we think that we really change the mind of people who work in this area, and it's very good for us.
So you think there is a slow process of understanding?
Yeah, of course, because our advertisers also see some content from, for example, USA for biggest brand, for example, like Nike, with this beautiful advertisement for what made our girls, like it become famous in Ukraine also, and of course it's more effective than some sexist ads. And they try to implement it, such practice. But I think only high-level companies try to do it.
And what do you expect to be changed if Ukraine goes further in those regulating gender stereotypes and contents, sexist contents in the media?
I think we will be more democratic state after this, because gender equality is very important for economic growth also, and for human rights, because it's a part of human rights, and it's also not only for some legislation. It's like for everyday respect for women and for men also. So I think maybe after some period of time we will be more respectful for everyone in our country.
That's absolutely, gender equality is part of a human rights battle, and that's why we are here in the World Forum for Democracy. So Oleksandra Golub, I would like to thank you so much for this interview, and I would like to give you some minutes if you want to add something more to what have been through in this conversation.
I would like to say that I invite everyone to join our campaign and just to be a part of World Without Sexism. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.